That's right, of course it wasn't just one student testing my courage. That's not what I meant. The explanation I gave everyone wasn't the whole story. In order for a room to grow, Sister Basket, the seeds for it must be planted. Having grasped what I'm getting at, look of surprise first crosses her face, then one of sadness. It's not over yet, is it? I figured out who the original Hookman was. Shooks me, hopefully, and I shake my head. I don't want to say this, but I can't tell you who it was. But that night, when you also fainted, I also saw the Hookman. Yes. You came to my rescue when I fainted. When I was pursuing the Hookman that night, I heard a sound coming from the art room. I felt there was someone in there. I got on to tell her just as I was about to open the door, I heard a scream. Me? Yes. So I rushed straight over to the empty classroom opposite. But something strange. The students had gone out on a dare that particular night. Had already been sent back to the dorms by Yatsura Senpai. There was no Hookman to fuel the rumours. Then, was it the original Hookman you mentioned? That's not possible. How do I know that? Because the original Hookman already accomplished what they first came to do. They had no business in the art room, Sister Basket. You screamed on purpose to distract me from the other person who was in the art room. Ah. Is the true Hookman actually Mayuri? And the air between us seemed to solidify. There were times suddenly slowed. Not exactly a tension in the room, it's a mood I've never experienced before. Remove yourself from a regular human relationship and you pay a price. It's what my middle sister would say to admonish me whenever I fell into depression. I say her name again. And doesn't hiding things when counted to be ethics that govern human relationships? I'm hardly in a position to be asking that question, since I just declared I wasn't considering the original Hookman. Her lustrous, honey-coloured hair, her voluptuous body, her ever-sunny and impossible-to-hate personality. The person I idolise above all others is clearly struggling. Well, that's what I should say. I'll stretch up and take a hold of a shower head before beginning to rinse the soap suds over my body. Huh? I'm not trying to criticise you, it's just that if you're struggling with something, I want you to be able to confide in me. Miss Yaegaki, I know you're covering for someone if it's just good reason, that's fine. But, if you're in trouble, if you're being pressured in any way, then I'll crush you with everything I've got. Sister Basket gazed into my eyes like she's looking into my very soul. Everything's fine, Miss Yaegaki. I'm not in any trouble. That's fine, then. Is it? I'm not like Shirahane. I don't care about exposing lies or resolving unsolved mysteries. So long as everything turns out okay in the end. The reason I did all of this. I realised too late, but I faced her, her earnest amber eyes have been spilling out all my emotions in front of her. Yeah. If you're happy, that's all that matters. My whisper is too faint for her to hear. My heart hammers away loudly in my flat town-clad chest. My idol. To make my student boy about me, and so I'm a terrible teacher. It's true you made me worry and you did something out of character, but you're not terrible. If you weren't fit to teach, do you think your students would throw a birthday party for you? Right, you're right, she smiles. I received so many presents, I even got a new pair of ballet shoes from Miss Takasaki. She said she wasn't getting her anything. I grind my teeth in annoyance, but at the same time something hits me. I haven't given my presents yet. All the Hookman stuff going in completely eases my mind. Miss Hanabishi made me a pressed flower. A beautiful dahlia. No doubt she doesn't mean it that way, but it feels like I'm being compared. I find myself automatically resenting the president. Why'd you have to go and be such a girly girl? I wonder if people want to give her a clever, thoughtful present. Been a teacher for a long time, but her first year students this year are also kind, and you're such hard workers. It's really made me thankful to get to teach at this academy. An affectionate smile was reminiscent of the Virgin Mary herself crosses Sister Basket's face, and I quietly resolve myself. Sister Basket? It pains me to say this, but can I ask you a favour? Oh, of course. Is there anything I can do? Please ask. Then, my cheeks need flush. I'm clearly aware that I'm not acting like myself. Still, I'd like you to teach me how to choreograph the ballet recital. I wouldn't know how to handle it my own. My. You're doing choreography. I'm pleased. Sister. She wraps me in a big hug and I squeak. Her soft body pressed against mine. I can feel not just my face, but my entire body turning red. Sister Basket, I can hardly breathe. Please. Thank you, Miss Yaegaki. I wriggle in her grasp, but she shows no sign of withdrawing her soft warm body. Maybe it's okay for me to indulge myself like this sometimes. I stop struggling against the warmth of my body, which reminds me of my mother. Instead, bury my face in her sweet-smelling chest. So stop struggling and just enjoy the breasts. I say fair play to that. There's a story in Grimm's fairy tales called Mary's Child. It tells a story of how a girl born into a poor family is taken by the Virgin Mary at 3 years old to live happily in heaven. The girl is 14 years old. Mary departs on a journey, leaving the girl with the keys. She warns the girl never to open a door number 13. The girl is curious. Yes, she opens the door number 13. When Mary returns from her travel, she notices the door has been opened and questions the girl. The girl stubbornly insists she did not open it. The girl disobeyed instructions and lied to cover it up, and Mary expels her from heaven, taking her power of speech from her. After living alone and miserable for many years, the girl is discovered by a passing prince, and they get married. They live happily together, and the girl falls pregnant. However, when the child is born, Mary appears at the girl's bedside and asks her if she opened door number 13. The girl, who is now queen, again obstinately insists, but she did not. As recompense for a lie, Mary takes a child. After that, she has a second and then a third child. And each time she is asked a question, she lies. And each time, her child is taken from her. At the end of the story, the informed queen becomes ashamed of a lie, confesses that she opened the door, and has her 3 children returned to her. The girl lost everything because of a lie she told at the age of 14. And her suspicion taken from her time and time again because of continued refusal to tell the truth. When I heard of the story, I thought of my precious friend. The story that begins now is that of Mary's children, struggling to get back what they have lost. Chapter 6. Mariankind, Mary's Child. A cloud shaped like a fairy tale castle floats above the distant trees. I don't see it. The sky is a bright clear blue and a large fluffy cloud stands out in sharp relief against the ridgeline of a forest. As I tried to track myself from the heat, I realised I had exactly the same thought before. I gaze at my Amitié partner as she takes a break from her intensive training to grab her flask, which is filled with an energy drink. Soaked in sweat coming from dancing non-stop in this intense heat. Chidori continues to practice the Princess Aurora's final scene of a ballet second act, where she awakens from her slumber to begin to dance. The act finale, Le Reveil d'Aurore. The soft tempo of the music calls for a dance of real stillness and clarity of movement. The seams of producing clearly defined burst of intensity is harder than dancing a sustained clip. At least that's what I was told by my elder sister. She usually dances with such a cool and phased expression, but now the sweat is pooling in Chidori's cleavage. While the other lead dancer, whose sweat has nowhere to pool, simply slumps down on the floor, gasping for breath. Is your ankle okay now? Yes, it's fine. I'm just a bit weak from not exercising for a while. The character that Prez is playing, Princess Florina, has a lot of movements that are more comical. It makes sense it would be tougher getting back into it after a break. Takasaki is really amazing. Her concentration never lapses. She keeps going without even closing her arms. When I first heard the phrase closing your arms, I had no idea what on earth it meant. She blinks at me, and after a moment of hesitation, she smiles understandingly. When performing pirouettes, unless you hold your arms out properly, you can't spin very well. Whenever I'd let my arms drop, my teacher would yell at me about closing my arms. I'm almost out of being a very specific turn of phrase, but reflecting that it's time to continue to check up. I look across the students due to dance next. You know, I was quite surprised. About what? I never thought you'd take on the role of choreographer. What prompted a change of heart? I grimace as I think back on the exchange of a bass a few days prior. I'd embarrassed myself for being so open and honest about it. I felt it was my duty, that's all. I'll take a sip of my drink. I see. Well, you're a real kind person, Yaegaki-san. Shut up. Have a drink. Hand her my flask and urge her to rehydrate. But no, Chidori is still going to change with someone, so she doesn't overwork herself. Okay. The flame of momentum flickers and dims as she returns to her normal self, but it's not like it's been extinguished completely. The ember still smoulders somewhere in there. Good work. Your dancing just now was really beautiful. I hand Chidori my flask and she gulps the liquid down inside like it's the most delicious thing she's ever tasted. And regarding it, she wipes her index finger across her lips. Thanks. Your pick turn was good too. You maintained a wonderfully stable axis. Really? Thank you. She's still as vicious as ever when it comes to ballet. It seems like she's at least learning how to take an interest in other people. Perhaps as a consequence of having gone through the Hoffman incident, but I think it's more the fact that she opened up to me about the scars she bears when I far in favour of her former classman. Well, it'd be nice if talking it over me lightened the load a little. I know it's not as simple as that, but I can't help but slip into that mode of thinking. I took the next student to dance as though she would in a real performance. Hey, Yaegaki-san, what should I do here? She's playing a male part. Oh right, since this is a scene where you're celebrating Princess Aurora's marriage together, it's placed it in mime to a male part. She nods and shows me a flair expression she'll bring to a dance. Not bad, I'll give you okay. You've really taken this director job seriously. Someone who snatches what little remains of my flask. Give me a bit of that too. It's the Sasaki twins, for playing Puss in Boots and White Cats. I might resist doing anything I don't want to remember to end, but once I've taken on a job, I'm not going to half-arse it. Your instructions are really precise. Being a director fits you surprisingly well. I'm a choreographer, but you're right. Handing down orders to people on high might well be my calling. Mrs. Sasaki smiled along with me, well, I wasn't really kidding. But, Suoh-chan and I may end up gesturing more than we actually dance. Oh, you're starting to remember terminology. I sure am. She puffs out her flat chest and her sister continues to watch other girls practice closely. Since ballet doesn't feature any innovation, use gestures, mime, to tell a story instead, right? Tell her she's exactly right and she grins. I'll go on to say this amplifies in the third act, especially the wedding of Princess Aurora and Prince Desire. The happy couple's fairy tale friends sing and dance in celebration during the pas de culture. You two, as Puss in Boots and the White Cat, have a lot of mime to perform. Along with Shirahane as Little Red Riding Hood, there's a swing of basket around and stuff like that. I'm still thinking about how a mime interaction between her and the Grey Wolf. I rack my brain for a cute dance that'll bring the meek Shirahane out of her shell, and suddenly find my lips curling to a smile. Ah, that's a very lupine smile right there. Even though you're really more of a cat type. Slashes and kneels down on the floor, her legs splayed outwards. We've really been throwing hard since Sister Basket's birthday party. From the day it was announced I would be taking over choreography, we moved into full-on practices for the show. As one of Tchaikovsky's 3 ballets, Sleeping Beauty is performed about as many times as our Stars in the Sky. Today, Sister Basket and I picked a scene from various performances that featured a few male parts. We give everyone a moment of the spotlight. First up was Act 2, Scene 2. Le Château de la Belle, a Bois Dormant, on Princess Aurora's Awakening. Then came some selected parts from the procession of the fairy tales. From Act 3, Le Noce Desire Adore. And lastly, the highlight of the performance, the Variation d'Aurore, which will serve as a finale. Recopying the basic dances, the main job of a choreographer is to adjust them slightly, bearing in mind the skill of each individual performer. First, I'm having everyone perform a basic dance on me, so I can get a handle on their abilities. Then I have to come up with a choreography which fits both the story and the aesthetics. That's pretty tough. Alright, next up is a Diamond Fairy. Call up the next girl as I scribble down my notes alongside changes for a Sapphire Fairy. Hey, you stop sitting with your legs to the side like that. Take a leaf from a Prez's book. Why though? Say it like that, people can see your pitch, you know. For what? The President hurriedly wraps her arms under her thighs to cover up. She glares at us, her cheeks red, but doesn't change position. Well, because... oh, that's more true, but... I decide to avenge her, Prez. Because I want to get a peek up your skirt at your thigh, is it to go? What? You have such nice legs, I want to watch and learn from you. I expected to get all embarrassed and climb up, however. I'm so happy you think I have nice legs. So adorable. She acts modestly, slapping on my shoulder and prattling like a gossipy middle-aged woman. Flattery will get you nowhere, though. Here. See if I was shoving a candy at me, bowled over by intensity, I forced a smile back at her. My sister isn't used to being complimented. Younger twin whispers to me and I find myself unable to tell her sister a tragic truth about ballet class. You learn how kneeling like that negatively impacts the shape of your legs. Good work, Diamond Fairy. Next up is... A soft breeze accompanies the abrupt sound of a door opening. I stop what I'm doing with relief. Who could that be? Let's find out next time. Bye bye.